Yeah. 144 to
Yeah.
nigga.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But the rest get to it. Ain't taking no slack, get to it. You took a loss, try to bounce back, but you blew it. Let me show you how to do it. Dispute it, I can prove it. Bro, whoa, we can do it. Nigga, ain't nothing to it. Ain't no cowards, ain't no excuses. Let's get to it. Hey.
I don't care what they talking. All I want is my Porsche. I'ma ride up clean. Look at me, I'm a false. Kill them off like a boss. Nigga, you better stop it. I'm all about my profit. I'm shooting off like a rocket.
Who about to blow these niggas out the water? He go harder, go harder. Steph Curry, fourth quarter. All I got is my niggas. All I fear is my father. All I bring is that slaughter. Bomb on the Pearl Harbor. He ain't real, he alive. If he real, who am I? Now his ass in the fire. UPK till I die. Please don't cross the line. Try to stop and stop trying. Bomb shop is ball wide. I'm on the grind. Let's get to it. Double time and believe. You ain't harming me, nigga. I brought a whole army of niggas. So I ain't move with precision. Follow every order given. Let's get to it. Nigga, let's get to it. Ain't taking no shit, get to it. You take a loss, try to bounce back, but you blew it. Let me show you how to do it. Undisputed, I can prove it. One, we can do it. Nigga, ain't nothing to it. Ain't no
And all the power in my hand, and slinging shit on demand. You better watch where you stand. Just get flamed up and ain't changing up for nobody.
They're warfare, what you know about it? This ain't a rap, this a message. Ain't it real, be respected. Fake niggas like a virus. Lot of niggas infected. I came to correct it. Bought a whole bunch of soldiers. They move at my discretion. When the rebels hit the entrance, all them niggas hit the exit. Them niggas get the sprinting. I demand your attention. Solid nigga, I ain't folding. Plus you know a nigga hold it. Nigga, look how I'm rolling. Shorty check my demeanor. He's smooth, but I'm cleaner. Flow like Aquafina. Hit him running Serafina. Yeah. I gotta deliver. I'm about to have a baby, but I still wanna baby. Let's get to it. Nothing comes to a dream. I'm strictly dead. I'm all about the business. Rock solid and relentless. You came to make friends. I came to make a killing. That's why I don't kill it. Leave these niggas hurting. That's why I'm fishing, nigga. Do you need a healing? I know you can hear me. I'ma bet you a rookie. And Kanye, you a Donald Trump loving pussy. I'm a kid, you a cook. Ain't nothing you can tell me. I'm too ready. Let's get to it.
I think I can. What's up, it's LJ. I've been using DistroKid to distribute my music since 2015. Cool thing about DistroKid.
Fuck, man.
No cover, no nigga came back down. I thought I'd let you know that I was gone, but I never left. Go back now. I thought I'd let you know this brotherhood is a weapon, and I never let it go. Never let it free. Shit, I kill for my niggas. I thought I'd let you know. No coward, no nigga came back down. I thought I'd let you know that I was gone, but I never left. Go back now. I thought I'd let you know this brotherhood is a weapon, and I never let it go. Never let it free. Shit, I kill for my niggas. I thought I'd let you know. Yeah, you nigga know I'm about to bring the heat right. Shit, I used to leave the street light. Hey, now I still keep the heat tight. Now nigga on gold like a green light. They say 144, nigga, you can get it. Ain't gotta tell me twice. Tryna stack a couple grand, get on some land, and put us on the feet in the field with the Warriors. And you know a nigga glorious, but we still keep it G though. Gotta keep it G. Keep them tools Home Depot. Might hit him with the Rico. Hey, hit the nigga with the Rico. Hey, said they fucked up the rap game. What you looking at me for? So I know they can't stand me. That's why I keep a Glock handy. Might sip a little brandy while I'm chilling with the family. Tell him a real nigga landed. Dressed in all black like a bandit. Bitch, I ain't come to play. Bitch, I came to do damage. No coward, no nigga came back down. I thought I'd let you know that I was gone, but I never left. Go back now. I thought I'd let you know this brotherhood is a weapon, and I never let it go. Never let it free. Shit, I kill for my niggas. I thought I'd let you know. No coward, no nigga came back down. I thought I'd let you know that I was gone, but I never left. Go back now. I thought I'd let you know this brotherhood is a weapon, and I never let it go. Never let it free. Shit, I kill for my niggas. I thought I'd let you know. Back, now we ballin'. Ain't Babylon falling. You know the path a nigga walk. That I walk. Nigga raised up, now I'm all in. And all I ever wanted was the win in the big body Benz. Now I'm gone in the wind, trying to stack a couple in. Now let's get it in, let's get it in. About to make the shit tremble. 144, the rebel. About to turn it up a level. Heat the bitch up like lava. And it probably bring a whole mob. And all that we fear is our fall. And I'm headed for the top dollar. And ain't none gonna stop me. None gonna stop. No Calvador nigga came back down. I thought I'd let you know that I was gone, but I never left. Come back now. I thought I'd let you know this brotherhood is a whip, and I never let it go. Never let it free. Shit I kill for my niggas. I thought I'd let you know. No Calvador nigga came back down. I thought I'd let you know that I was gone, but I never left. Come back now. I thought I'd let you know this brotherhood is a whip, and I never let it go. Never let it free. Shit I kill for my niggas. I thought I'd let you know.
Ain't got no time to play, ain't no other way. I got them soldiers on the way now. Ain't got no time to play, ain't no other way. I got them soldiers on the way now.
Yeah, I saw that shit, but I didn't know he didn't die. Yeah, he's dead. More than once here. Well, after he hit him the first time, the old white man kept on talking shit.
Test, test, test. Test 1 2 1 2. Shalakia. Bear with me just a moment. Count, we all good. Hey, Salakia, had a little bit of technical difficulties. You know what I'm saying? But we in there now. Shalom. Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shabaraka Thumb to all the brothers. Yahweh Shamar Allah Thun by Shem Yahweh Shah to all the sisters. This is the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Start out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commandant General Yohana. You understand? Been in operation since 1969, teaching the truth according to the Bible. You understand that blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are the true Jews according to the Bible. All right? And of course, this is the Friday night Lashawan Qadash class. Where's my other eraser? Okay, if I could. You ain't got none of the white? Just, yeah, I'll have a little tiny bit of that. This is the Friday night Lashawan. What should I keep up here before? I'm gonna erase some of this. I'll leave it here for now. No ice, but I will take a water if you could, Baba Kushar. All right, Lashawan Qadash class. I'm gonna erase this, these possessives, I think. That's the water. Khan. Lashawan Qadash class, Hebrew class, right? So we've been talking about this particular topic. We've been talking about these connections between possessives and prepositions, how we can combine them, right, to form these different types of phrases and things. All right. And you know what I'm saying? We might probably not gonna deal too much with this today. We'll come back to it in a, you know what I'm saying, not too distant future. But there's some other topics I wanted to talk about for today. You know what I'm saying? We're going to do a quick rundown of what we're going to get into today in just a moment. But just to refresh our memory, what we used all of this for, basically, you know what I'm saying, was to make these phrases that we see in the scriptures all the time, right? How we can connect the prepositions, the wa, the ya, the ha, the ka, and ma, and there's other ones, got to erase a little bit. And we can connect them with these possessives, right? And then that in these situations, the possessives become what? They become like pronouns. They no longer are just possessives as in his, hers, or mine, but they can be used as pronouns in the sense of the water. You just put it right there. In the sense of him, she, me, you, us, and so on. All right? That's what we were talking about. We're going to erase this for now. Hope everybody's tawab. Again, if you have any questions, you can go ahead and just type them into the chat. Any questions in the room, just raise your hand. First thing I want to do is just get a couple of scriptures real fast. Really, I just want the one in the Apocrypha, you know, I want, because we're actually going to talk about that today as well. Con. Bear with me just 1 second.
Water. Okay. This is the prologue for the book of Ecclesiasticus. I think I would call this like the fourth paragraph. Okay. Wherefore, let me entreat you to read it with favor and attention, and to pardon us wherein we may seem to come short of some words which we have labored to interpret.
Right. Now, we read this all the time. It's a very excellent, you know what I'm saying, piece of, you know what I'm saying, a primary source to tell you about this process of translation, right? And the importance of it. And furthermore, the importance of this, you know what I'm saying, what we do here in the Lashawan Qadash class, right? So, Salakia, so just hold what you got, Yanazar. We're going to be right back there just a second, but just to remind everybody, right? We call this the what? The Lashawan Qadash class, right? Lashawan Qadash, right? If we break it down, You understand? The word Lashawan is essentially an amalgam formed by two words, or better yet, it's almost like it's an inflection of a certain word. So Qadash is the root word here. Qadash simply means what? What does Qadash mean? Holy, right?
Set apart, holy.
There you go, right? Holy, or you could say set apart or separate. Right? That's what Qadash means. Lashawan, just like you. God. Separate. Now, Lashawan comes from this word, right? Lashun. Okay? Lashun means what? Lashun means tongue. Literally, tongue. Okay? But how does it become Lashawan? Please.
Okay, when we add the one to it, the wa,
There you go.
and it becomes an action word.
Khan, right? Absolutely. So we take this Lashun, take Lashun, it's the 11th. Okay. You take the Lashun, right? And we add a wa. What does this wa do? The wa essentially is what you might call in English the ing form. Now, in English, again, there are multiple ing forms. They're not all the same, so to speak, because there are forms of the ing in English that are nouns. Okay? It functions mostly as a verb, but when you use it as a noun, it becomes what is called, again, a gerund in English. Okay? Like when you say, so running is an action. He was running. I am running. Stop running. That's an action, but you can also say, I like running. And in many other forms, you use it as a noun there. But what we're doing is we're turning it into a verb, right? So Lashun, you add the wa, right? And now it becomes the action form of this, whatever the root is. Or you're taking it and turning it into, again, a continuous action. Okay? So now your tongue is a body part. But what continuous action is your tongue used for?
Primarily for speaking.
Primarily for speaking. Which is why in ancient times, if they wanted to silence someone or even threaten to silence someone, what would they say?
Salaki, sir. Cut out his tongue.
Cut out his tongue. Xerxes says that in 300, right? You know what I'm saying? He says your scribes will have their tongues cut from their mouths, right? Because your tongue has always been representative of speech, of speaking. So when you take the Lashan with the wa, it becomes Lashawan, and it becomes speech or speaking, right? Which turns Lashawan Qadash into the holy language, or You can say tongue. And why do we say tongue here? Why do we still say Lashawan, even though we know the etymology, the root? Why is it we can still say holy tongue? Yeah, why is it that we can still say that this means holy tongue?
Because the word tongue indicates language.
Exactly. Especially in the old Quaker English that we read in the Bible. You understand? You will see it a lot in the scriptures. You'll see it said, you know what I'm saying, they spoke in tongues. They did not understand his tongue. This is how black people talk. It's metaphor. Right? Now, finish what you got, Yanazar, if you could, Baba Kasha.
For the same things uttered in Hebrew and translated into another tongue have not the same force in them. And not only these things, but the Lord self and the prophets and the rest of the books have no small difference when they are spoken in their own language.
So read it again. That was so heavy. Read it again.
And not only these things,
Start from For the same thing uttered in Hebrew.
For the same things uttered in Hebrew and translated into another tongue have
right. So the same things uttered in Hebrew and then translated into another tongue. That's what we just said, right? In the old Quaker English, you'll see them use tongue. So the same things uttered in Hebrew and translated into another tongue, meaning what? Another language, right? It's been translated from the original Hebrew into something else. Let's see what effect that has. Go ahead, Yanazar.
Have not the same force in them. Have not the same force in them.
Have not the same force in them. It's not the same as when you read it in Hebrew. That's clear as day. So how can anybody say that they understand this Bible or that they, you know what I'm saying, they're all about this Bible, but they don't even bother to understand the Hebrew? They don't even bother to speak it or learn it or anything. You can't be serious about this Bible and not understand this Hebrew, not even attempt to understand this Hebrew. I'm not talking about a word here and there. You got to understand the language of these people, the culture of these people, which we understand because we are these people.
That's right.
You understand? We're going to see some more of that today. Read on, Yanazar.
And not only these things, but the law itself and the prophets.
So the law itself. So even the law you can't understand without understanding the Hebrew. And the what?
And the prophets.
And the prophets, meaning all the rest of the books. Go ahead.
And the rest of the books have no small difference when they are spoken in their own language.
There's no small difference when it's spoken in its own language. You understand? No small difference. And you can see it. We understand that. You can see it again when you break this down and when you start to understand this language. There's no small difference. It's a major difference. Okay? For example, this right here. You know what I'm saying? That's what, matter of fact, I might switch it. Yeah, I'm going to switch it because that's something that bothers me. I'll get to the pictographs next. First, I want to talk about real Hebrew versus fake Hebrew. So we're going to talk about real Hebrew versus fake Hebrew. Then we're going to talk about pictographs and get a little more detail on them, right? In relation to our current language. That's going to kind of blend in with those two things. You know what I'm saying? Bear with me just a moment. Mm-mm. Okay. And that'll lead us into talking about the pictographs. No sweat. We're gonna learn some new words as well. A couple of new words. And give me also, if you could, Baba Kushan, real quick. Give me Joshua 23 and 13. It did. Make sure I do this right. I confuse myself.
This is the book of Joshua, chapter 21, verse 13. Thus they gave to the children of Aaron, the priest of Hebron.
Where you at? Joshua what?
21 and 13.
Oh, 23 and 13.
Salakia, sir.
Okay.
This is the book of Joshua, chapter 23 and verse 13. For know a certainty.
For know what?
A certainty.
A certainty, what does that mean?
That means to know for sure.
Know for sure. You understand? This is a certainty. It's not a maybe. It's not a kind of. It's not a perhaps. Know for certainty. You understand? Read on.
That the Lord, your God, will no more drive.
What?
Will no more.
No more meaning he's not going to do it anymore. He will no more what?
Drive out any of these nations from before you.
Right. He's not going to drive them nations from before you, right? Because we didn't want to keep his law, statutes, and commandments, right? But let's see what that entails. Go ahead.
But they shall be snares and traps unto you.
They shall be what?
Snares and traps.
No, they're going to be your friends.
Snares and traps.
They're going to be, you know what I'm saying, your confidant, your friend.
Snares and traps.
The other nations are snares and traps to us, man. We're not supposed to mix with them. We were never supposed to mix with them, which is why the Lord is saying, I will no more drive them out. That's what the Lord was doing. He was keeping them away from us because we weren't supposed to mix with them. But he said, no, for a certainty that I will no longer drive them out. And they're going to be what to you?
Snares and traps.
They're going to be snares and traps to you. Go ahead.
Unto you and scourges in your side.
And scourges in your side. Again, that means that they're going to harm you. They're going to be scourges in your side. Read on.
And thorns in your eyes.
And thorns in your eyes, man. We were not supposed to mix with these people. All they have ever been to us is a snare and a trap and a scourge, right? And it shows in the fact that we don't even know our language. We don't even know who we are. You understand? We don't even understand, you know what I'm saying, our real culture. We adopt everyone else's culture, but we have absolutely no idea about our own. You understand? Now, Yanazar, if you could, Baba Kushal, give me the definition of a pictograph. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
A pictorial symbol for a word or phrase.
Mm-hmm.
Pictographs were used as the earliest known
as the
form.
what?
The earliest.
As the what?
Earliest.
As the earliest, go ahead.
Known form of writing.
The earliest known form. Does it say like the second earliest?
La'asr.
Does it say that, you know, one of the earliest?
La'asr.
So could you repeat it again and so they can hear loud and clear what it says? Start from the top, please, Baba Kusha.
A pictorial symbol.
A pictorial symbol. Go ahead.
For a word or phrase pictographs
Uh-huh.
were used as the earliest known form of writing.
As the earliest known form of writing. Writing. In other words, the first way of writing was the usage of what again?
Pictographs.
Pictographs are symbols. Is there any more in the definition?
Con. Examples having been discovered in Egypt and Mesopotamia from before 3000 BC. An ancient pictograph, a representation of statistics on a chart, graph, or computer screen.
So again, this is ancient, this is old, right? Now we're going to read another piece of information. I'm going to read it. I got it on my phone, right? So right now, I'm just going to, all of these symbols here are pictographs. We talked before, we're going to do it again afterwards. We talked before about what each one represents. But for today, we're going to do something a little different in that what we're going to do is we're going to draw a bridge between these symbols that we see here and the very language we speak today here in America known as English. Because they are, in fact, connected, right? Because not directly connected. You know what I'm saying? As we've discussed before, linguistically, English is a what language?
What we call it, a bastard language?
That is what it is, but that's not the linguistic.
Oh, Salakia.
It is a Germanic language. You understand? It is a Germanic language, meaning that, you know, its origins is in Germany. It has, or it's better yet, the family, because languages have families. The family of English, its most common ancestor is a German. You know what I'm saying? Those languages are related. Okay. Sure. All right, Salaki, let's adjust the camera. All right. Now, all of these symbols are pictographs, meaning that they represent an actual thing. You know what I'm saying? They're not an arbitrary just symbol like, hey, we'll just scribble something and say that this represents this sound, you know what I mean? And then just, you know what I mean? And just go from there. Nah, these symbols each represent something, right? That's what a pictograph means. All right. Now, in Hebrew, these are the sounds represented by each of these. This is the ancient Hebrew, right? So this is not Assyrian. This is ancient, right? And these are the sounds represented by each symbol, right? So we have the ah, ba, ga, da, ha, wa, za, ka, ta, the ya, ka, la, ma, na, sa, I, pa, the taza. I might have to fix something a little bit. I need more room. Kind of need more room. Darn it. I'm gonna leave this row though. This is the qua because I want to show the corresponding letters. The ra. This is the sha and the tha. Okay. Probably could do it. You know what? Nah. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna leave it like this. You know what I mean? And hopefully everybody kind of see what I'm doing. I'll put it, maybe I could put it next to it. That might help. Yep, I'll put it next to it. All right. So I'm gonna read a piece of something, right? God. This is an excerpt from a book, right, on the Hebrew alphabet from Yale, right? And there's a piece that I'm going to read. It says vocalization. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, you can find this, you know what I'm saying? This is a book from Yale. This is just an excerpt, though. Vocalization. It says the Hebrew alphabet is the oldest in the world still in use today. And it says our own alphabet is a descendant of it by a circuitous root. The text of the Hebrew Bible we use today reflects several periods of development, right? I'm going to go there for now. I'm going to read a little bit more to go into the next thing I want to talk about, which is real Hebrew versus fake Hebrew, right? But let me just show you the letters that are the English letters that if you trace back their origin, which of these letters they go back to. Please. Come on, no sweat. It says, the Hebrew alphabet is the oldest in the world, still in use today. Our own alphabet is a descendant of it by a circuitous root. The text of the Hebrew Bible we use today reflects several periods of development. Okay? Now, it said that Hebrew was the oldest in the world. And we read that a pictograph is the oldest form of writing. Okay? And our own alphabet is a descendant of it. You understand? The text of the Hebrew Bible we use today reflects several periods of development. Go ahead.
You know, this right here is some really good information. I don't want, if I may, sir.
Please.
Because the world is such a liar. Because they've been trying to convince people that this Mesopotamia cuneiform form of writing was older.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've been hearing that like way before I came to the truth. Like they used to say that this, I don't know what they call it, cuneiform or something.
I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about. They try to say that was the oldest form of writing. And they knew that it wasn't, but they still teach it.
Yeah, they still teach it, man. They still say that. But no, Hebrew is the oldest. Hebrew is the oldest. I'm saying it's like my camera stuck. Kind of funny. God, Hebrew is the oldest. Now check it out. Now again, we've said this many times before, but look at these symbols. Just look at these symbols and tell me that they don't correspond in some way, shape, or form. There's a connection. We just read it straight out of a Yale book. You know what I'm saying? That our language comes from Hebrew, right? We just read that. Let's see something real quick, right? Right. That's why it said in the book, it's our language is connected to Hebrew by way of a circuitous route. The word circuitous means of a route or journey longer than the most direct way. You understand? So think of it like this. Think of it like you got Hebrew, right? You got Hebrew, and then a bunch of other languages sprouting from Hebrew, and English is off somewhere, you know what I'm saying, down here. You know what I'm saying? It's a break off of a break off of a break off, like a fake Israelite group, right? But if you really find the origin, you'll find that it goes back to Hebrew. Okay. And let's see some of these corresponding letters, right? So what do y'all think this ah? What letter might the ah be connected to?
The A Ottoman.
Come on. I mean, you can see it. Clear as day, you can see it. You turn this letter a different direction, you have an A, right? So this letter right here, right? This is the A, where the A comes from. Okay? Let's get some more. Let's see if we can figure some of these out, right? Who can guess? This next one is obvious, right? What about B? Which one do you think is B? Khan, absolutely. The ba is B. Right? Now, it's not all corresponding, which is going to make it a little difficult going forward. But what letter do you think is the, and some of them are doubled up, what letter do you think is the G? Come, it is. Try to throw you off a little bit there. But now the guy is the G, right? A lot of these are pretty obvious, right? The da seems obvious, right? D. Ha. H. Right? Believe it or not, the wa has no direct descendant, as far as I know. The what? The letter Y in English doesn't have a direct descendant to this. Con, right? This one, this is, I mean, it's simple as that, right? That's direct, right? But guess what? This ka is also related to H. It's related to that letter. It's one of those, it formed, it morphed into it. It morphed into what we know, or what is now used as the H. You know what I'm saying? That happens often. Because of other what? Because of other, accents and things like that. We talked about it on the radio show today, right? In the Bible, it says what? That Barnabas and Simeon were called what? They were called Niger. They were called Niger, right? But you got to imagine it being used in some ancient form, right? Being called Niger, and the next thing you know, you got some redneck, Nagger, damn naggers. Makes sense, right? It don't sound that far-fetched to go from Niger to some redneck saying, goddamn naggers, nagger, nigger, and now you got nigger, right? These things morph. They morph into something else. Over time, through different people using the language. So what about the ta?
You see the X in there in a zero, but I don't think it has any direct.
No, it does to the T.
Oh, to the T.
If you think about it, if you twist it,
oh, okay,
it's kind of across. Like a T.
Right.
The T, and I was wrong. The Ya is connected to the Y. Salaki for that. The water. Okay. So now the Ka is reminiscent of our modern K. The La obviously is L. The Ma is what? M. Indeed. And again, if you look at it, they simply have the same shape. It's just upside down. If you flip a Ma, it will look exactly like this. Right? And if you just cut off this little stem, you know what I'm saying, with a pair of like scissors, I can't really draw. You cut it, then you just have a M. Okay? Same is true with the Na. Same is true with the Na. The Na is simply an N. Okay? Then the Sa is going to be an S. I, the symbol is just not the sound, but the symbol is the same as what? An O. The Pa, right, is how we get our modern P. Right? There is no Taza. Right? What about the Qua? Absolutely, right? And if you look, it kind of looks like one, right? The Ra, of course, is going to be your R. Then we have the Sha, which again is going to be another letter that actually goes back to oh no, we don't. It's like, we don't have a correspondence for that one, right? But the Tha does go back to the T as well. See the symbol, shape of it. It comes from the same. The T comes from that as well. They all notice both of these have the same. They really have the same symbol. One is just wrapped in this kind of shape. This O, one is not, right? But the T, those are the origins of it. Okay. So now, bear with me just a second. So now, this is the relationship between the Hebrew pictographs, right, and some of our modern English letters, right? But I'm gonna read a little bit more on that that Yale excerpt to show something else, right? Here's what it says. In the same section, it says this. The Hebrew alphabet is the oldest in the world, still in use today. We owe our own alphabet as the descendant of it by a circuitous route. The text of the Hebrew Bible we use today reflects several periods of development. Originally, only the consonants were used. Originally, only the consonants were used. What does that mean?
Meaning, what they're admitting here is that there wasn't any vowels.
Exactly. There was not any symbols representing vowel. It means two things, right? So let's be clarified. It means two things essentially. That there were no symbols that represented vowel sounds. And furthermore, And it's connected, but the reality is that there were no symbols to represent functional vowels at all, right? We're going to use a word here, learn a new word, and get an understanding of how it's written in Hebrew, right? So in English, again, so who knows how to say the word for right in Hebrew? Not right as in the direction right, even though what is the word for right in Hebrew? Yum? Put them together. There you go, right? Yum yum is the word for right in terms of direction. Okay? So I'll just write it real quick. We can use that real fast, right? But the word for right as a direction is what? Is yum yum. Right? And the word for left is what? Got it, Yanzor? No sweat. The word for left is shamal. Right? Shamal. Right? But right now we're gonna talk about the word to that actually means to write. Like writing, since that's what we're doing here in the Hebrew class, right? We're learning about writing, this writing system. So the Hebrew word for writing, to write, is kathab. And we're still talking about what the article said about there were only consonants were used, right? So kathab. Every symbol that we have on this board is a consonant. Every symbol, every pictograph represents a consonantal functioning glyph or letter, right? Now, again, if you were to say they all represent consonants, consonantal sounds, someone could say that that's not true because we have what? We have I, right? We have ah. See, vowels work in two forms, in two ways, again, in linguistics. There's a vowel sound, but then there's also the function of a vowel. A vowel sound is any sound that is made without any kind of friction or you could say interruption of the air passage when it's spoken, right? You could argue that's a vowel sound, right? Consonants are also defined in those ways by their sound. B has a function in a letter, in a word or on paper, but it also has a sonic, you know what I'm saying, way it's used. And it again, when you say the letter B, you have to disrupt, right, the airflow to form that letter. Air is escaping from your mouth, you're saying it, but you're using another part of your mouth to cause friction or to disrupt the airflow. So B, C, D, right? But then what are the ones where there is no interruption? There is no friction. There is nothing that for any moment blocks off the airflow, like the letter E. E is a consonant. I mean, Sunisaki is a vowel. A, O, right? While you use your mouth to envelop and thus, you know what I'm saying, distinguish the different vowel sounds, never is the air passage cut off. You understand? And that's what makes it that. So what we're talking about is the function of a vowel. Okay? And still, the vowel sounds are limited as well. The only vowel sounds really are the short A sound in the ah, right? But there is a letter that represents it, but it does not function as a vowel the way they do in other languages, specifically in English and other modern languages, and the way they try to use it in modern Hebrew, which is not Hebrew, right? It said originally only consonants were used. As you can see here, this is what we call, what again, Yanazar? When we take the Hebrew or we take another language and we transfer it to the letters of another language so it can be read. It is a there we go. Perfect, brother. It is a transliteration, right? So now let's put this in its original form. Let's put this word kathab, which means to write, in its original form. And all we're going to do is we're going to take these symbols that we see here and we're going to put it together like a puzzle because we happen to have this transliteration already. So we can easily just do this. We're going to go, we got a ka, a tha, and a ba at the end. Right? And we have connectors to tell us where to, where to connect the to put the sounds and where the vowel sound, right? The implied vowel is stopped. So we have the ka, and these two share the vowel sound. Thab, kathab. Okay? But here's the problem. The problem is this, is we got the ba at the end here, but there's no vowel after this ba. It's kathab. Meaning what? Meaning that each of these symbols, even though we say ah, ba, ga, da, at any given time, they can easily become what? They can just be the consonant sound by itself. That's really right. That's really the root of the letter, right? Is that consonantal sound. S, p, right? Tz, qua, or the qua, ra, right? We're using the ra or the ah sound to make it easier to hear. But they can be used without that, right? Because they're consonants, okay? Now, it said that only consonants were used, but again, that's what we're saying. There's none of these symbols represent vowels. This ah here and this ah here, this in ka, thab, is implied. It is not written. There is no symbol to represent vowels in original ancient Hebrew. So what does that tell you?
That modern Hebrew, what they call modern Hebrew, is just a version or a mimicked form of Hebrew. It tells us that.
Yeah, that's true.
And it tells us that the vowel sounds are foreign to the original language. Of course, I mean, that's obvious.
Find this article real fast. No sweat. Can't get it at the moment. But the point is, you're right, Yanazar. The reality is that there was only one vowel. We didn't have a bunch of vowels. All those vowels are new inventions that were not there. You understand? There was only one way to connect the letters, to connect the symbols together by this one vowel we use, a one vowel sound we use, which is the short A sound. Ah, ah, just like the first letter in the alphabet. Ah. Right? But we don't write an in between each letter to connect them like in English. In English, in order to say right, we have to have this I here. Right? This E is pretty much silent. We have to have this I to connect these consonants to each other to form it. We didn't have that in English. In ancient Hebrew. There's one vowel sound. So if there was one vowel sound being the short A, what the F is this? Yehudi. What is that? I'm going to read it again. Bear with me. The Hebrew alphabet is the oldest in the world, still in use today. Our own alphabet is a descendant of it by a circuitous root. The text of the Hebrew Bible we use today reflects several periods of development. Originally, only the consonants were used. Only the consonants were used because there was only consonants, and because all the vowels, there was just one vowel. We need a vowel system. We need a vowel system for it, right? But then if that's the case, and there's only a short A, and right is kathab, and all of these ba, ga, da, ha, wa, zaka, so on and so forth, then how the hell you get Yehudi? There is no E. There's no E here. There's no E. So this is out. There's no U. So this is out. And while, there's an I, quote unquote, but Yehudi, there ain't no E still. No matter what symbol you use, there's no E. Ridiculous. How about this one? Yeshiva. Okay, we can do your Yeshua. I don't know. I just know it's the name of a Jewish school. Yeshiva, however they say it. No sweat, because it's probably the same nonsense here. Yehudi, Yeshiva, but that's not in Hebrew. And we just read from Yale's own book that it was originally only consonants. So again, there's no in Hebrew. There's no sound. So can't be there. The ya and the sha, that is a sh sound, but there's no she. She, that sound like Elam. That sound like an East Indian language. Ain't no she, so that's out. There's a but what the heck is that V? Yeshiva. Yeshiva. Yeah,
Even with the Ukrainian war, right? What I've learned watching the reports is that the V sound is strictly a European sound because they use it throughout. Every European language has that sound that I've seen. Maybe not French. I haven't seen it in France yet. But in all especially the Eastern European languages, they have the V, va, va, va. That's proof right there as to their origin.
Damn right. The Yiddish is a European language.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That is a European language. 1 second. No, that's a fact, right? So it can't be no yeshiva because there ain't no V sound. And you right, Yadazar. Other language, other cultures struggle with that V sound. You notice that, and those are the notice that the cultures that speak the oldest languages that are still in use today, they have a hard time forming that V sound. They really do. Some of the oldest languages spoken on earth are what? Sanskrit, Tamil, Shemitic languages, right? Because Elam, that's a Shemitic people. They don't. Moab and Ammon don't really have those V sounds as well. They have a hard time with that. You know what I'm saying? Elamite, ask an Elamite to say, Louis Vuitton. He's going to lose his mind and have a conniption because they can't say that. You notice that whenever instead of saying V, they usually use a W sound. I know this personally because, again, I grew up around a lot of Elamites. So so I grew up, my neighborhood was a bunch of Eastern Europeans, a good amount of Elamites. You know what I'm saying? All the brothers was a few blocks away in Left Rack City, but I grew up on the side that had a lot of Elamites and Eastern Europeans. All the Eastern Europeans, everything, right? But go talk to one of them Elamites' parents. They could not use them words. You know what I'm saying? So if you was driving a Volvo, a Elamite person who was born in India, they would be like Volvo. Driving a Volvo, they can't say that V. I'm telling you. And they speak, their languages that they speak are older than the European languages. You know what I'm saying? And notice again the connection between the wa sound, and I would do it like this. I'm gonna write this, and the V sound. Even now, if you go look up Hebrew, you'll see them write this like this. Sometimes they'll write it like the wow, but then they'll say that became the vav. The vav, which is why you get mazel tov instead of tawab, right? You get what's the other one? What's that damn holiday they kept letting us out for school for? No, you get Yom Kippur, which is stupid, but really it's that mazel tov. There's another one, I can't think of it. No, but that doesn't have the va in it. I'm trying to think of something else that got that vav in it. It's a disgusting, horrible sound. It's really terrible. You understand what I'm saying? But that's how they say the vav, man. Mazel tov and tav this and that and vav this, and none of that is in Hebrew. This is garbage, right? The wa sound is correct. So how the hell? Another thing, how you gonna get Yeshua? How are you gonna get Yeshua? How do you get this? Let's break this down. Get all this garbage out the way. We're going to do more on Kathab in a second. But let's break down Christ's name. What is Christ's name in Hebrew? That's correct. His name is Yahawashai in Hebrew. But how do we spell his name? Give me a clue. You know what I'm saying? I ask this question all the time because it's the things you don't know in church. Like people in your Christian churches right now in 2022, they do not know that Christ, his name was a common Hebrew name, and that another person in the Bible had the same name as him. More than one. Well, you're right. You damn right. Salakia. More than one person, but I mean one other famous person, very well-known person, had his name. Joshua, right? That's probably why they think it's Yeshua. Because they thinking of Joshua, so they just said, Joshua makes sense. But Joshua is a false transliteration. You understand? So let's see. So let's actually get Joshua's name in the proper spelling. Oh snap. I gotta send this to my rib. So we're gonna go to Blue Letter Bible. My phone going kind of slow, Salaki. Right. You'll see the variant spelling if you go to Strong's H3091. You'll see the variant spelling is the second one. That's the most used one. Right. So his name is spelled. So we're going to we'll use a space right here. In the Assyrian, it's like this. Yah, Ha, Wa, Sha, and I. In the ancient, we write it like this. Right? Now we know that what these symbols represent. So of course we know Hebrew is written from right to left. Okay. But now we're gonna write it in English. This Yah is as such, right? Yah. Then we have a Ha. Then we have a Wa. Then we have a Sha. And the I. You know what I'm saying? Don't be thrown off by the I here on the Sha. You know what I'm saying? You can write that. You know, there was a R&B group in the 90s that had a very famous song. I will not embarrass myself by trying to sing it, but the name of that group was what? Shy, and it was spelled how? S-H-A-I. So you can use it just like that. It's still pronounced shy. Okay? Ya, Ha, Wa, Shy. Yeah, shy. Simple. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. Again, all consonants. All consonants. You understand? The A's are again implied, right? And the I again still functions as a consonant. It forms a sound. It is not used to connect the other symbols. You understand? Exactly. Most High in Christ, right? So now, how do you get Yeshua from this? How do you get Yeshua from this? So okay, so I guess what you're doing is okay. So let's just try to figure this out, Giannis. All right. So they got Yah. Let's just say they connected the Yah and the Ha, right? They connect. So again, it's Yah, Ha, a Wa, a Sha, and a I. So they connected the Yah and the Ha. Okay. But where's the Wa? I guess they just took that out, right? They just, okay, fine, no sweat. You just took that out. Then you got the Sha, okay. But then, wait a minute. How you got a Ua? There's only one letter left. How you get a Ua from an I? This is garbage. This is nonsense. This is nonsense. This is not how this goes. This is not how Hebrew works. Yeshua is not Hebrew. It's just a black man's attempt to not say yeshiva. Just like shalom is a fake Israelite's way of trying not to say shalom. Please.
If I may, sir, like when Christ said, like, if you're not with me, you're against me, this learning the Hebrew language has helped me to understand that so much because, well, if you're not bringing the people together, if you dividing, you're dispersing the people. I'm paraphrasing. And what I'm trying to say is like in the language, just learning the language shows you that in so many ways because among our people, man, you know, just you had Yeshua, Yeshiva, you know, all of that stuff up there. You understand what I'm saying? And that's what, how does it say it? It says that is causing the people to disperse, or you're, what's the word I'm looking for? You're dividing the people instead of bringing them together. You understand what I'm saying, Adawan? Like, you know, all of these break-offs that's using all of these different versions is like the epitome of that in terms of language.
That's absolutely true, brother. It's disgusting. And they didn't get taught this. A lot of you fake elders out there, you know what I'm saying? They want to tell us that, oh, that Lashawan Qadash is a made-up language. Lashawan Qadash is a made-up language, but go look up the Hebrew scholars, man. Go look up even their Hebrew scholars will tell you that Yiddish is not how ancient Hebrew sounded. So why does nobody run around and say Yiddish is a made-up language? Why does no one run around and say modern Hebrew is a made-up language?
Because the victor gets to tell the story.
Right, and because a lot of you coons love the oppressor.
On Cross the Line Radio last night, sir, if I may, they came up with a new name for Yahweh that I never heard. I can't even hardly remember Yahya, some or some shit.
Ahaya?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I heard that one.
I was like, what the hell?
That's from a fake Israelite group led by a former, another former One West person who, of course, took it upon, they had to put their stamp. Because, you know, fake Israelite groups, they love to say, well, we invented such and such, or we discovered such and such. So he decided that, because of the scripture that says in Exodus 3:15, tell them, call that I am, oh, that's the Lord's name. They say the Lord's name is Ahaya, Ashar, Ahaya, which is stupid and insanely dumb. And it's not the Lord's name. The Lord's name appears over 3,000 times in the scriptures.
That's right.
You understand? And that ain't it. Now, fake Hebrew. That's what this is. This is fake Hebrew. Yeshua. Or I've seen another one. I've seen this one. Another piece of garbage name that does not exist. Yahusha, Yahuwah. Where's the I at the end, man? This is all crazy. Okay. Our language only used consonants with an unambiguous vowel sound that was implied. You didn't have to think about it and figure it out or none of that. Kathab. Okay. And also we can apply that rule that we learned from earlier with Lashawan, right? We can apply that as well. So if we wanted to say writing, or we wanted to talk about the process of writing, like how would we say that? How will we say writing? We know the root is kathab. How do we turn that into writing? Absolutely. Thawab. Salaki. Gone. And that changes the form, now becomes a verb, an action. All right? Most High in Christ. Everybody got that? So we're gonna get a couple of other words in. You got about 30 minutes left. All right. So that's how you say that, right? Let's learn a couple of words. New words or words. We might have gone over some of these before. All right. Do we remember what these pictographs? We're not going to write them, but who remembers? Do we remember any of the pictographs, like what these symbols? Okay, what you got, Yanazar?
Okay, the is bull, cow.
Use the mic.
Oh, Salaki said the is a cow or bull. The ba is a tent. The ga is the gamel, the camel. The da is a door. The ha is not the hand, but what is it? I forget that. The ha, one of them is a hand. That's the wa. The ya is the hand, right?
There's a few of them that kind of represent a hand.
Yeah, then the wa is the fish hook. The za is a weapon. The ka is defense. The ta is a basket. The ya is the hand. The ka, what is the ka? Like the palm or something, like the palm of the hand. The la is like to learn or something. The ma is water. The ma is water. What is the na? Let me see. What's the na? It's the na, like the head.
Which one?
The na.
I'm trying to find it in my notes.
And I know the sa. I know the sa is like a flag or a banner. The I is an eye. The pa is the mouth. The tazah is the side. The qua is a trap. I forgot what the ra is. The shah is the teeth. No question about that. And the tha, I remember that one very well. And the tha is like your symbol or your sign or your mark. Right.
Well done, brother. I'm just gonna get the
I need that ra, and I need that tazah. The tazah is the side. I need that na and that ra. And what else? And the ha.
You said you need the which one?
The ha.
Con. So the ha is a hand.
Okay.
The ha is a hand. It almost means to like put. You know what I'm saying? Like something being placed.
Okay.
So think of a hand placing something. Right? That's what the ha is. And which other one you said you needed?
The ra.
Oh, the ra is the head.
That's the head.
Okay.
Yeah. And what was another one? Sa, the banner, flag, na. It's the na. What is the na?
The na. The na, if I'm not mistaken, is it's not a thing, so to speak, but it comes from the posh, which means soul. I gotta get more clarification on that one. I think it might be different, but I remember being told that it comes from the word napash, right? So it's like like a body, like a person, but I can't quite remember that one. So hold off on that one. I'll get back to you on that one. Was there any more? Yeah, you said the basket, right? The car is the fence.
Water.
Mm-hmm.
The fish is the wa.
Mm-hmm.
The za is like a weapon or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Khan, Zion, a weapon.
Yeah. The ka is the like a fence.
Mm-hmm.
The ta is the basket looking down.
Khan.
The da is a door.
Mm-hmm.
The ga is the gamel, a camel.
What about the pa?
The pa is a mountain.
Right.
I was, I remember that shit because I was like, gotta look at it from the side.
From the side, Khan. That's right. That's exactly what it is. Most High in Christ. Is there any more? You got what was the qua again?
That's the trap.
Khan.
Trap or something.
It's a snare.
Snare, right.
Mm-hmm. The word for that is quawash. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. God, you gotta look at it from the side. Just imagine the brother just standing there. Right. That's the
evolution of it. Like,
exactly. Con.
Like stick people, like
right. Con. It's like if I draw, that's excellent, right? Because if I draw this, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like most people would know it's a person, it's a man, right? But imagine if someone who didn't grow up in a culture where stick figures exist, they would look at it and be like, what in the hell is that? Is that a flower? Like, I don't know what it is, right? But you know it's a person, right? Because we played Hangman or something and you're familiar with this symbol, right? So back then they would have understood, you know what I'm saying, that if you draw this, that you just kind of represent, you know what I'm saying, just imagine the dude's neck. You know what I'm saying? You gotta, don't, Jesus Christ, I cannot draw. Salakia. Just draw like, I'm saying, dudes. Jesus, why am I so bad at drawing? I give up. Listen, just trust me when I tell you it's a person's head, all right? That's all you need to know, okay? And Kawash means a snare, all right? Most High in Christ. So now, let me see where I want to go next. Oh yeah, there was a couple of words I wanted to get up there. A couple of words. So does anybody know what the Hebrew word for offering is? I'm sure there's a lot of results. Mm-hmm. H40 what? Mm-hmm. On a car, can. That's certainly one. Again, with most words, there's a lot of ways you can say it. right? In this particular instance, right, we're talking more so, right, like you know what I mean, like a sacrifice, right? Like a sacrifice, an offering. Mm-hmm. Right? Because there's a lot of ways you can say it, right? That one you just said is correct, right? But here's the one we're gonna learn today. We're gonna learn this word. Zabak, which means a sacrifice. Okay. So an offering is considered a sacrifice. Okay. Because you see it in the scriptures, zabak, a slaughter. So imagine we're talking about, right, like, you know what I'm saying, like when it talks about an offering made by fire, you know what I'm saying, it talks about, you know what I'm saying, the lamb or something like that. That offering would be called a zabak. You know what I'm saying? A sacrificial thing, right? An offering to the Lord. All right. And here's this word. One moment. Which one? What was it? Oh, right. I mean, it's that's what tribute. In this sense, we're talking more so again about a tribute given like a tax, right? Of course, right? And the one we're going to learn today is the word mas. Okay, that's the word for tribute. Let me correct it real quick, Salakia. Tax. All right. And next we got this word. This is an interesting connector right here, right? So this word for precious, to show you that this Bible's, this is a black people's book. The word for precious is yaquar. All right, yaquar. Now, does that look familiar in any way? Is there any part of that word that we have encountered before that looks, Somewhat familiar? What about the word quar? What does quar mean? No sweat, I got you. Just a moment. All right. So the word quar, right? This word precious is related to this word. The word quar means cold. It'll make more sense in a second, right? From that word, we get another word. Quar means cold. And from that same word quar, we get this word. Quarak. Anybody know what quarak means? Close. Mm-hmm. Something that is very, very cold. That's it. Quarak means ice. But you know what that word also means? It means ice. But you know what it also means? It means crystal. Like crystals or any kind of polished stone. Think about that. Now, diamond has its own word, right? You know what I'm saying? But it's to represent any kind of precious stone, right? So if you look it up, Karak from H such and such means ice, as if bald, i.e. smooth, hence hail, by resemblance, rock, crystal, frost, ice. But if we go back to the word for precious, which is yaquar, You see where we're going with it?
Yeah.
Something of value, but it's a little more. Hold up. Right. It says value, i.e., concretely wealth, abstractly, costliness, dignity, honor, precious things. Look at this. Another one. Right? Your quar, valuable prize, weighty, precious, costly. Precious stones or jewels, rare, glorious, splendid. Another word used here is brightness. What does a black man call his diamonds? That's another word. What does he call? He calls it what?
Ice.
He calls it ice. Is that not something black people have been calling jewelry forever?
I mean, I used to, even in the 40s, I think movies in the 40s. Ice.
You got, you know what I'm saying? I need some ice. Like, that's something we've been saying. This is how black people talk. Literally, the words are related for precious, as in precious stones, something of value, something that's costly. You know what I'm saying? When you got, if you got on some fly like that, you know what I mean? Like that war belt that Christ had that was made of gold of Euphaz. You know what I mean? That joint is your quar. Like, that is costly. You understand? And can you imagine the diamonds and everything that King Solomon had? King Solomon, they said he had ice in his mouth. You know what I'm saying? His cheeks was comely with rolls of jewels. Come. Yeah. They had, you know what I'm saying? They had gold teeth. They had all kinds of rubies and all kinds of things in their teeth, man, around their neck, all of that. And that's what they called it. They called it ice. You know what I'm saying? Related words. Most High in Christ. You got something?
No, I'm just saying, didn't Solomon, like, he compared the women to, like, their value to, like, jewels and rubies and stuff like that?
Damn right. That's how a black man talks. Ain't no devil comparing his woman to no rubies and no, come on, man. They don't even talk like that. Right, a winch. They don't even talk like that. You know what I'm saying? A black man is always comparing his woman to what? To valuable things. I know, you know what I mean, not giving the brother no play, but R. Kelly had a song. You remind me of my what? My Jeep. You know what I'm saying? Prince, Little Red Corvette. We're always comparing a woman to something that is like a prized possession that shows value. You know what I'm saying? There was a singer back in the mid 2000s named Ryan Leslie. He had a song called Diamond Girl. Like, you're my diamond. We always comparing a woman to these beautiful, precious things. Devils don't do that. That's not how they talk. That's not how they interact with each other. You understand what I'm saying? Khan. So your quar, precious, relates to, and also when something is good, what do we say? What do we say? We might say that's cold, right? You know what I'm saying? We don't really say it so much, but like some brothers do say that. That was cold, man. Like, that car is cold, right? Quar, ice, precious, value, it's all related. It comes back to each other. You know what I'm saying? So always remember, man, this is your language. This is how we speak. God. That's right. Damn right.
Like, I want.
Yo.
You know, like that article I sent you today.
Mm-hmm.
Did you read that too?
I started it. I didn't finish it, but I got into it a little bit.
You know, like sometimes you gotta check to make sure this shit is authentic, but they had an actual picture. And if the Israelis, if the so-called Jewish people are willing to offer a valuable artifact back to them, it must have some value.
God. I mean, listen, you know what I mean? It wouldn't surprise me, man. They got all kind of artifacts that's not even theirs, man. That's not theirs. They stole all of it, man. They have no source. This language, Salakia, this language is obviously the language of a people who had a fashion sense. They had, you know what I'm saying? They had charisma. They had a way about them. This is from the salt of the earth.
Salakia,
Go
sir,
ahead, please.
if I may. Like the article that I sent you, the artifact was stolen from Israel by the Ottoman Empire. You dig what I'm saying? That was before the so-called Jewish man converted. You understand what I'm saying? To Judaism.
Right.
But they still trying to claim it.
Good night. Good night.
Because the Ottoman Empire was like right after the time of around that same time when like around the time of the Advent, right, like the 800s. You know,
they trying to claim this joint. That's even before they even converted. Yeah, they're trying to act like they didn't convert.
They had it, like the Ottoman Empire had it. It's in Turkey now, and the Israeli offered them, like they have some kind of ancient Ottoman Empire artifact in Israel that they're offering for a trade to get it. Well, you read the article.
I saw that part. That's crazy. You know what I mean? But they do all kind of slick stuff, man. All kind of slick stuff. And the reality is this ain't even their language, man. It ain't even theirs, man. You can tell.
They want to get that so they can hide it, man. You understand?
Damn right.
They want it so you can't read it. Well, this is the ancient, what we're doing right here today.
That's right. Damn right. No sweat. Let's get a little bit more. We got that one. Bear with me just a moment. There was one last thing I wanted to cover. Actually, no, I think I'm gonna say that for next week. Let's check this if I might end it on this. This is a quick little thing, real quick. You know what I'm saying? Just a quick thing. So we talked about using the Y for the ing. Okay. There's another way you can go in the reverse, right? To turn a verb into a noun in the Hebrew. Okay. Here's an example right here, right? So the Hebrew word for interpret. The Hebrew word for interpret. Yanzo, could you give me another marker? Because this one's kind of toast. Salakia. If you could bring me two. I know you brought a bunch of them, right? Most High in Christ. I'm gonna just take one home. The water. The water, brother. So interpret. The word for interpret is pathar. Mm-hmm. One of the words. Or the main word is pathar. Okay? In the ancient, it would look like this. Pathar, right? That's the verb. It's something you do. You interpret something. But the form, right, that turns it into a noun is patharwan. Good. Pathawar. Mm-hmm. Pathawar. I think I might have spelled it wrong, Salaki. Okay. But then say interpretation. Interpretation is going to be patharwan. No, patharwan. Patharwan. Okay. While the wa in the middle of a word turns it into the ing form, what the wan does at the end of a word, write it this way, and we'll also write it this way. What that does is create or turn it into turns it into a person, place, or a thing. Also known as a noun.
So we can say that in all instances where the Y is added.
Say what?
We can use that in all
When the Y is added or the wan? Not all instances. Not all instances. You'd have to have the appropriate root word to see it, right? You have to have a verb and have to end in the proper, you know what I'm saying, proper way for you to attach it. But that's what it does when you see it like that often. So you'll see a root word like pathar. And in fact, you can look it up. If you go to Blue Letter and you go to H6622, that's pathar, right? That's pathar. It's a verb. But then H6623 is pathar one. Right? So let's see something. No sweat. Count, we're gonna end it there for now. You know what I'm saying? Next week we'll pick up on this, get into some new things, you know what I'm saying? Get it all the way right. All right. If there's any questions in the online, let me see. I don't see nothing on the online. Any questions in the room? Tuwabi Anazor? Count, Most High in Christ. And with that, I'm gonna pass the class over to Priest and Officer 500 Yanazar.
Okay, security announcements. We are the Isupk out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yohana. And since 1969, we've been teaching the truth of the Bible that Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are the true Jews of the Bible. And we're not affiliated with any other Hebrew Israelite group or religion. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or a sister comes into the school, they're off limits for 6 months. They are be to saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. After 6 months, if a brother or a sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or a sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. You can find this in Numbers 18 and 21 in Malachi chapter 3, verses 8 through 10, means tenth in the Hebrew and is pronounced ma'ashara. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, you give to the Treasury Department or teacher. Priest fund. Free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like to give. Upcoming Holy Convocation. And need I say, what I must say, on April 15th in Cocoa Beach, Florida, we'll be holding the 53rd annual Passover, the Lord's Passover in Cocoa Beach, Florida. You know, you got to be there, man. You understand? It's going to be a great event. It's the most holy day in our calendar. And you have to be there by law. Understand? Remind Akim and Aquatium to check on social media such as isupk.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for ISUPK events and materials. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, then he is to start wearing all black, which includes black boots, shirts, pants, headband, or scarf. And with that, I imagine